பசங்க வந்த பிறகு அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு இந்த வாலை பற்றி எல்லாமே சொல்லி கொடுத்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த டைமென்ஷன் அதெல்லாம் சொல்லி
On top of this is where we place our farm work and we make our wall.
அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரேஷியோ சொல்லுவோம்.
This one over here is 43 3/4 of an inch. We want to have like some extra writing by 24 inches.
There are so many children, for instance, who they may be flourishing with their marks and books, but when it comes to doing this kind of work, they may be totally lost. The so-called attitude that we develop about, oh, you know, I'm good at this, I'm great with this, so I'm the best at this, or I'm not at all good at this, and I'm feeling good about myself, kind of evens out all these differences that people have. The children also are not used to this kind of work. The narration that we think that we are, it kind of breaks it in a certain way, and you learn new things. So there is very determined children, and if they don't know, also they're ready to learn, and there are these children who think that I know it all, so I don't really need to know more than this, and I don't want to do this kind of hands-on work. Even though they may have the skill for it, they may not want to try doing it. Then you see all your friends doing it, and then there are children who are happy doing it, and they're wondering like, oh, you're happy doing it, so let me just try it.
Okay, so what is 1:5?
1:5, like 1 centimeter in my book is like 5 centimeters on the actual thing.
Well done.
We studied this in similarity last year.
Done. Glad you paid attention. All the lengths, all the widths will equally scale down. I want you to make a 1:2 version of this. What would your dimensions be? Height would go from 2 feet to 24 inches to 12 inches. Nice, okay. So that's 1:2. What is 1:3? Do all of you get this? So what scale do you guys think is realistic over here? 1:39. Okay, tell me 1:39 ratio. What would our length be? 1 inch. What would our height be? Clearly, 1:39 is not the answer.
We make it half, so 1:9.5.
The idea of making the sample size formwork is so that it's easy to replicate a smaller version of what we're going to do. The more random you make it, the more incrementally difficult it becomes for you. You guys as a group now, to work out, write down what this plinth size is, write down the actual wall size we're going to use and why it's smaller than our plinth size, how much smaller, and then give me a drawing of the scale down proportions. If you're going to make a formwork, you're going to have 2 pieces on this side, 2 pieces on this side, which means you're going to cut 4 pieces in total. I need you guys to draw out these rectangles and draw out exactly the size of each of them. This is much stronger than this. Help you in case you want to draw it in perspective, draw it in isometric.
அவங்களே ட்ரா பண்ணி அவங்களே மெஷரிங் பண்ணி
I don't think we were able to do much in that area in helping children see those connections last year. Apart from some simple geometry and calculations from maths, a lot of maths work that they do in school remains in their minds at some kind of an abstract subject that they learn and do the work and get the exams and tests through, but not necessarily get enough opportunities to keep applying what they're learning in some work that they actually do.
Even when they're constructing the wall, there's a lot of calculation, right? So they're using different kinds of soil, and they have to calculate what is the quantity and the proportion. There's a lot of math in that. And there's ratio in that. There's proportion in that. So, and there's physical measuring of these proportions in that. There's physics involved because they build the formwork and then they construct the formwork. So, like for instance, when there was calculations involved, and they were in groups. These groups they created on their own. So when they were creating these groups, some of them are good with math. Some of them are like, oh, I haven't, math is not my subject. I can't draw. I'm not an art student. So they kind of attribute their skills to whatever subject they've learned. So these activities kind of break those boundaries. And whether you're an art student, you'll have to end up drawing the wall. There's a lot of engaging over there, and you don't really do the things that you've always doing in school. A lot of things that you don't really do in your everyday learning, you end up doing here. So these are children who've never seen anything beyond cement and brick.
11th-12th program natural building, I think we are yet to establish other kind of connections with the subjects that they're studying in 11th-12th here. But there are opportunities. I don't think we explored it enough.
நாங்கள் வந்து பசங்க வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து நம்ம ஒரு வால் வந்து அடல்ட்டெலாம் ஒரு வால் ரெடி பண்ணுறது. அந்த வாலோட லென்த் வந்து ஒரு 39 இன்ச்சு, ஹைட் வந்து ஒரு 24, வித்து வந்து ஒரு 12 இன்ச் இருக்கும். அந்த மாதிரி ஹைட்டில் வந்து நம்ம ரெடி பண்ணுறது.
The children have to wear jeans and shoes, sturdy shoes, and the reason being that they're going to work with heavy machines, and your clothes have to suit.
Left hand pushing. If you're left-handed, then you use.
There's physics involved because they build the formwork.
அவங்களுக்கு பசங்களுக்கு வந்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் கொடுக்குறோம். சில்ட்ரனுக்கு சொல்லிக் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம ஒரு வால் வந்து ரெடி பண்ணுறோம். அந்த வாலோட லென்த் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா ஒரு 39 இன்ச் இருக்கும், ஹைட் வந்து ஒரு 24 இன்ச் இருக்கும், வித்து வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா ஒரு 12 இன்ச் இருக்கும். அந்த ஹைட்டுக்கு வந்து நம்ம ரெடி பண்ணுறோம். அவங்க வந்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணி அந்த ஃப்ளைவுட் எல்லாமே கட் பண்ணுவாங்க.
I'm looking at to what extent are they contributing. Someone who may be just silent there needn't be contributing less. He could be thinking about what to do next and maybe seemingly silent. So these are things that when you watch and observe and probably participate with them in that, you will understand. They're very open to learning.
I line this up here and pivot it over here. As in, I know something is already this and I want to measure it, I can pivot it like this, and over here it will show me that it's 27 degrees, this angle.
Okay. 36.
What does 3 mean?
36. 3 meters.
Inside this, you need to fit this, plus this, plus this, plus this at least. After that, you need to have like some base pieces, right?
So you actually have to think in terms of what the task is in store. It kind of humbles anyone who comes here. So obviously we have to kind of bend ourselves to the place.
Oh yeah, so you have to cut it a little further than the inch.
And say I draw something over here, right? This is a piece I want to cut out. If I cut it, then I'll get another 9 inches automatically. You're going to basically be losing a bit of wood over here. Steal the speed square from that yellow triangle.
Sir, they need one. That's all.
Where are your other two?
It's gonna make it
It's like amazing. As straight as possible.
was how it
This side is what?
reference.
As a reference. This is your reference side. Using the speed square, we'll be able to get a straight line. You draw one line over here, use these reference edges, draw all the pieces that you're going to use, try to save as much space as possible. 4 inches plus 2 inches more. Amma. You've seen how thick the blade is. So you got one reference line, right? Now basically using this, I want you to mark the full straight line of this width of plywood. How are you going to do that? You've got this straight against this bit.
You have to like trim it make it into a straight line. Then you have to cut it. No, sir.
To be stuck.
No, sir. So you can't. I have to make one box here.
Which pieces definitely have to be straight? Does your bottom have to be straight?
Bottom.
Why? Yeah, but we're already given so much extra, no? Why?
Exactly, Shiva.
Okay, either way, this is some budget ass plywood. You always, only one side is your reference side because these won't be perfectly parallel ever. There'll be some differences.
பவர் டூல்ஸ் வந்து பசங்க யூஸ் பண்ணுறப்ப நம்ம கேர்ஃபுல்லாக பார்த்து அப்சர்வ் பண்ணுறோம். அவங்க வந்து அது ஃபுல் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி எடுத்து நல்ல ஒரு இன்வால்வாக எடுத்து அவங்க வேலை பார்க்குறாங்க. முப்பது பேரும் அந்த கிளாஸ் ரூமில் போட்டு அடைச்சி வச்சுக்கிட்டு நம்ம அங்கே சொல்கிறது வந்து 30 பேரும் அதை வந்து ஃபுல்லாக கேட்பாங்களா, அட்டென்ஷனில் இருப்பாங்களான்னு தெரியாது. இது இந்த மாதிரி ஃப்ரீடமாக இருக்கிறப்ப அவங்கள வந்து அவங்களோட போக்கில் விட்டு நம்ம லேர்ன் பண்ண வைக்கிறது வந்து இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் நமக்கு அவங்களோட திறமையை வளர்க்குறதாகவும் இருக்கும். நம்ம சொல்கிறது என்னங்கிறது அவங்களுக்கு ஃபுல்லாக ரீச் ஆகும்னு நான் எதிர்பார்க்குறேன் மேம்.
I'm doing it. They'll give us that scale that we don't
There's a lot of thinking, a lot of physical work of cutting it. It requires that kind of time and attention.
Clamp.
Like our plan to finish by 4:30 is gonna be finishing by 7:30 at this rate. But yeah, apart from that, pretty good. What to do? We've given them a lot more work. And I think we are still a bit limited with number of tools and space, etc. These kids are so easy to work with, my God. If you freestyle it and you're like, oh, I'll measure over here, but it's slightly like this, the fact that it's not, blame your brain.
My brain is broken, but like,
A bunch of them are just playing with the frisbee, but they're right here. You know, they're easy enough to call or like bring back here. Just walking over shit. I asked Vishnu, he was like, no, I won't give it. Okay, so I'm cutting the side wall.
Of two kinds of grouping that we do. We decided to put them in groups that they're comfortable in. Basically, they chose their groups. When we created the groups the next time, they were put in different groups. Yes, it was not something very comfortable to start with, but it teaches them new things, and I've seen new bonds forming, people becoming more tolerant with people whom they're not normally that happy with, forming new friendships. That's something that I've noticed. It's like going for an excursion and coming back.
The jigsaw can cut wood and metal. I want to see how closely you guys can follow lines, either the left or the right. So you should like run your blade on clamp for sure. Also good to like just keep going once you hit the wood. Yeah, these are lines. One sec. It's not happening. Just let the blade stop. It's angled like this. Bring it more like yeah. But still, that's it. Keep it flat. Next one.
It was a tremendous amount of learning and a beautiful experience for me. And
Like over here, if you put on one, the other one will be kind of like too close to the edge. So skip that for now, but do as many as you can.